Okay, guys, I hate filming this video and I don't want to call anyone out, but there is a maximum level of frustration going on right here. So I'm not a Navy guy. I went to the Naval Academy briefly. My dad passed away. I went to a merchant marine college, worked my way up to captain. Started G captain, writing about merchant ships. We had naval officers who worked full time on G captain doing Navy stories. I worked with them. I worked on them. From the LCS up, we still have Navy veterans, not full time, but on the payroll. Been covering this stuff for 15 years. I have never served on a destroyer. I don't have expertise in an F-16, right? But increasingly, starting with the USS Fitzgerald and the USS McCain, I have been increasingly worried about the capabilities of the U.S. Navy to protect my U.S. Merchant Marine. The U.S. Merchant Marine used to be thousands of ships. We are down to 85 in international waters. These ships are absolutely critical. We are at bare minimum levels. The average age of the U.S. Sealift fleet. So when I asked what Sealift is the movement of military supplies overseas before and during a crisis. We have the bare minimum. Every report by every congressional office everywhere. Navy reports, Army reports, Air Force reports, Department of Transportation reports, White House reports. There's no shortage of reports saying that we do not have enough U.S. merchant ships or Sealift capability. That's an undisputable fact. No one here disputes that fact. Those ships that we have, the 85 in international service, are absolutely critical to any operation anywhere in the world. And right now, only a tiny portion of those 85 ships in international service are in any one region. And I'm not going to talk about how many U.S. flagships are in the Red Sea right now. You could probably find it on marine traffic, and it wouldn't be hard to research. But it is those ships are carrying your military, Navy, Marine, Army, Air Force supplies to your bases right now and supplying allies. The large majority of that military equipment that we're sending to Ukraine is not sent on planes. That's high priority, time sensitive stuff. The large majority is on our U.S. Merchant Marine ships, which everyone has forgotten. There are hundreds of thousands of people working for the U.S. Navy. The U.S. Maritime Administration, which administers the U.S. Merchant Marine, is down to 800 people, and half of them work at our academy, U.S. Merchant Marine Academy. Yes, there's Annapolis, there's West Point, there's Air Force Academy, Coast Guard Academy, and our U.S. Merchant Marine Academy. So we have 300 people. That's it. We can't do things on ourselves. We can't ask for your help. We can't look at, and we need our ships protected because they have your explosive munitions on it. When the Carney shoots off missiles, the replacement missiles, yes, they can be put on a C-5, but most of that stuff is put on a merchant ship. Why am I upset? Why am I ranting? Because today I posted a link, and I don't want to call out any of these people, but I posted a link about the littoral combat ship and asking. We have this Operation Prosperity Guardian, which is supposed to protect ships. And the LCS, Littoral Combat Ship, cannot protect them because they don't have vertical launch capability. And I'm told the littoral combat ship was not designed to convoy ships. And I agree with that. The littoral combat ship was built specifically to combat minor enemies, not peer level, not Russia, China, minor enemies along the littorals, which is coast. It was built to fight the Houthis, but we can't send them in because of the failures of the LCS program. That's not my battle to fight. That's the Navy battle. My frustration is here on this app and elsewhere. There are a lot of military publications out there, naval publications. Every time I point out the deficiencies of the Navy to protect my merchant marine, my fellow U.S. merchant marine captains around the world who do not have defensive weapons on board, along with the USNS military Sealift command ships, which are operated by the U.S. Navy, but do not even have a Sea-Whiz failing system on board. Every time I point out the fact that the Navy does not protect these ships, does not have the capabilities or the desire or anything else to protect these ships, I receive this flood of can't even talk about the Navy capabilities, about how the USS Carney shot down a lot of drones, how there are overflights by P-8s, how the Navy, the LCSs are good for anti-surface or anti-submarine or anti-mine warfare or weapons. It's a flood of comments saying, I don't understand anti-air missile systems. I don't understand defensive systems. I don't understand drone countermeasures, that the Navy ships have all of these capabilities, and it is no problem defending the 85 merchant ships internationally, and really about half a dozen that are in the Red Sea right now. U.S. flagged, U.S. crewed merchant ships with U.S. sailors on board. And a lot of these people have it correct. And I don't mean to denigrate these people. A lot of these people who comment on this, and you could go back for the last year, but there's always a yes, but. Right? And it's not just the Navy. And these are legitimate yes, buts. I get it from the Army too. What about protecting merchant ships in the choke points? And the Army goes, oh, yeah, yes, but we could put a Patriot missile system right in Djibouti, and we could shoot down, if there are threats in the region, we could shoot down those rockets. Great. Where's the Patriot missile system? Where is it? I hear the LCS. Well, it can do mine countermeasures. It can pull out mines. Okay, well, where is that in the Black Sea right now where the mines are? And the merchant ships are going and exploding in the Black Sea. Oh, well, Turkey won't let us in. Okay, well, if Turkey won't let us in, put mine detection systems on the Romanian Navy. And they come up with all this. We got allies, or our allies can handle that. Any deficiency the Navy has, they start talking about all the allies that can defend U.S. merchant ships. Well, here we are with the Red Sea battle, and we're the allies. We got 10. Our closest ally, who's been with us every war, Australia, is not signing up. Canada's sending 3 officers. Bahrain and the Seychelles, 0. So don't tell me I'm overreacting when I say the Navy is not doing its job protecting U.S. merchant ships. The U.S. merchant marine is older than the Navy. The Navy was not born to go fight battles in Afghanistan. The birth of the Navy was protecting U.S. flag merchant ships, and they're getting an F right now. So all of these people who comment that I'm off base, host of things, from the billions we spent, $8 billion we spent on the USS Unarmed, to this LCS program, to underfunding the Marines, not giving the Coast Guard enough budget, and it's not just the Navy, it's the DOD, it's Congress, it's Secretary Pete Buttigieg, who's in charge of my service, who's doing nothing right now. They all have legitimate, feedback. There's always a yes, but. With the Patriot missile system, yes, but it's extremely expensive to put Patriot missiles in Djibouti. Is it more expensive than the USS Carney? Is it more expensive than a carrier group that's in the region? Is it more expensive than thousands of merchant ships being rerouted around Africa and burning an extra $1 million of fuel each round trip? Disrupting global trade? No. So people say, why should the U.S. pay for it? Fine. The Navy keeps telling me allies are going to help. Allies are the solution. John, don't worry. We have allies. The allies aren't showing up, guys. They are not here. In the U.S. Merchant Marine, we have a saying. That saying is ACTA Non Verba. That is the motto of the U.S. Merchant Marine. That means actions, not words. So yes, you can fight me on the little points of the LCS and how maybe it's capable if we put an electronic warfare system of protecting ships and shooting down drones. And there's always an argument against rational thinking. But the fact that we spent $8 billion on Aegis Unarmed, and yes, it's going with hypersonics now, and its deck gun is not used, that there is no, okay, this, that, and the other thing in allies, and that's a big deal, guys. And people say I have an agenda, and I have this and that, and I don't understand the Navy, and I'm picking on the Navy, and I'm doing this. This is a photo from a U.S. flag merchant ship, one of only 85 in international service, with rockets raining down on them in Israel. This is recent. No naval officers on board. No Marine security detachment. No Navy warships in. And I'm getting told on this LCS thread by these naval experts, and a lot of them are experts, that the Navy can handle protecting the 85 merchant ships. And these problems are not as deep and systemic as I make them out to be. But here's an unarmed U.S. merchant ship with rockets raining down. And yes, the Iron Dome took them out. And yes, but this isn't just a merchant ship. This is a tanker with explosive cargo, guys. I don't care if the Iron Dome shot them down. It's still raining shrapnel on an unarmed merchant ship. And this is unprecedented. With the Maersk Alabama just 10 years ago, when we called for help, warships were dispatched. Navy SEAL team comes flying in an aircraft carrier and parachutes down into the water to snipe the pirates. In the Iraq War, my wife was in the Iraq War on a merchant ship. She had F-16s flying overhead in the Suez Canal. should a detachment of Puerto Rican National Guards, fully armed, on board her ship. And right now, we got nothing. And the ships in the Red Sea, the U.S. flagged merchant marine ships in the Red Sea with your weapons, your supplies, can't go through the Red Sea because they don't have an armed marine detachment on board. There's no destroyer escort. There's no LCS. There's no salvage tugboats or fire boats to put out the fires if they get caught fire. There's nothing. And yes, the USS Carney is doing an amazing job protecting foreign mariners, which we should do. But those guys they don't have your equipment on board. So when I say, where's the LCS? Send the LCS to escort. And people say, that's not the right tool for the job, John. And there's always a line, but. But the LCS only has 12 CRAM missiles to defend itself and 1 deck gun. That's a lot more than we have. We got nothing. And these ships are sitting, U.S. merchant marine ships are sitting within Houthi range with no support. And this is a historical moment. It's historical that Transcom needs U.S. merchant marine ships to sail, and Maersk won't let them sail. And is that because they're trying to leverage protection for the foreign flagships? Or is that because the Navy's not providing warship protection? I don't know. And I don't want to speculate. But what I'm saying is the global reach of the U.S. Navy can protect a few U.S. flagships. And once we protect those U.S. flagships, then the 10 nations that signed up for Operation Prosperity Guardian, let's protect those ships. And you're going to say, well, there aren't many Canadian ships left and the Seychelles doesn't have ships. Great. We start slowly. And then as people join the alliance, we start protecting those ships. But we have to start with our own ships and build this up gradually. And ACTA Non Verba, you could have all the arguments against me you want. I don't care. But you are not here. And this is historic. And I've been warning about this for a year, 2 years here on Twitter, and all I get is excuses that I'm overreacting. This is not an overreaction. This is rockets raining down on the deck of a tanker with explosive cargo, and not a Navy, Marine, Army, in sight, no Air Force overhead. So I'm not the expert. You guys are the expert. But when I say there is deep systemic problems and we're spending $8 billion on super ship, Zumwalt, and we can't protect the merchant ship, I don't want to hear that I'm overreacting. This is not an overreaction. This is reality today. And for everyone else, thank you for listening. I apologize for the rant, but I'm frustrated. And I'm not 1/10 as frustrated as the merchant mariners who are on board those ships right now. Well, their service secretary, Pete Buttigieg, is posting about Animal Crossing in Wyoming. They feel completely left out, completely vulnerable, and completely undefended. We need to fix this ASAP.